Good morning, good evening, good afternoon for the OPC Day 2025. This is my presentation, a little bit update of everything, also highlighting other presentations happening this week and giving you a short update also on the organization. So I'm not reading the agenda in detail. As mentioned, you see the mix organization, a little bit OPCUA, where are we, where do we cooperate, what is the status of the initiatives, field and cloud, compliance, what are the news and collaboration. With this, let's talk about the real vision. What do we do? What do we want to achieve? It is everything about having a secure industrial semantic interoperability. And this is not only for the OT world. What we want is we want to get both camps together. Not that one camp is fighting to the other camp, hey, please take over my solution because it's a better one. At the end, we have different requirements and we need to have a solution which fits best to both worlds. The IT cloud people want to access standardized information. We, in the OT world, we need determinism, we need reliability on how to download recipes, how to exchange information. So we need something which is a mix, which is providing to exchange information, not only live data, also static data, independent from any vendors, platform, domains, any countries, any ecosystems, and scaling from sensor up to cloud. International with a super strong ecosystem. If you have a great idea, but you don't have an ecosystem behind, honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really work international. And all this is what we believe exactly OPCUA for the exchange of live and static data and information, files, alarms, events, historical data. That's OPCUA shortly described. Let's have a little look in the OPC Foundation, some news here. Everything what we do is open, all specifications once released are public available. The sample code we provide is open source. It is not released product, it is not an SDK, it is sample code. You do not get support from us on this. But also for certification, if you go to a lab to increase quality, you do not have to be a paying member of the OPC Foundation. Some numbers. OPCUA status today has 1,017 members around the globe. Majority here of 60% is located in Europe. Status right now, we are collecting 4,300,000 budget, what we have per year, mainly from member fees and a super small amount on income from trade shows where partners donate some money that they get a partner pot. But honestly, we are more donating to that trade shows as the partners pay for their partner pot. So it is member fees. There's an additional income, what they are taking on their own small team, the FLC team, the steering committee members are donating extra money and people, human resource. And this year they have an additional $1.4 million for them. We are active in 4 different regions in the world with a lot of hubs. It's a pleasure for me to later today have a presentation from the India hub, one of the best and most active hubs here of the OPC world. Overall, we have over 150 working groups, and I believe the OPC Foundation is the organization with the largest number of information models of the world in the free of charge public so-called cloud library. It's like a cloud repository where you can register free of charge and then you can navigate and look for domain-specific information models. So from the OT side, I'm a robot, I'm a motor, I'm a pump, I'm a kitchen equipment device, but also more business-related information models as we are cooperating with Catena X and AAS, and also their information models got converted and are available on the super rich OPC-UA-based information model library here in our system. There are over 350 available specifications released. 15 board members are taking care on the political part. We have 0 employees because we have 11 contractors, sometimes full part, sometimes just partial part, so that's a mix. The vast majority of everything is done by volunteers, and this is where I believe it's time to send out a big thank you to all the volunteers around the globe helping here on this success of the OPC Foundation. OPC-UA is not only an IEC standard, it's also a local standard in China and other regions in the world. And we also run a lot of open source projects. 17 are under the roof of the OPC Foundation, but in total you find also 1,900 OPC-UA related open source projects around the world. Impressive. Also, we crossed the number of 10,000 followers on LinkedIn, and we should also here add the number of WeChat, obviously. So what is OPC-UA? Where does it fit to? In the old world, we had the automation communication pyramid, where each level had to provide information to the next level by a specific protocol, and we always had to convert the data from one to another protocol, from one information network to another information level. With OPC-UA, it's different. OPC-UA scales completely from sensor to IT and cloud, but it's not the protocol. OPC-UA is not a protocol scaling from sensor up to IT cloud, because there is not the one protocol being able to do this. You need multiple different scenarios. And later the week we have Jim Luce, the CTO, talking about exactly having OPC-UA in the data plane and in the control plane, where you also see different communication mechanism for different use cases. So what is scaling from sensor to IT cloud is the information, the standardized information. This is what OPC-UA is about. So we are moving standardized information, and that's why we call it the information network. And this is transferred via different protocols. Short update that we have new member categories at the OPC Foundation. 2 of them are for affiliates, conventional affiliate and independent affiliate, but also a startup category. We believe this is win-win. Young startups are completely technology orientated. They want to leverage and work with OPC-UA, and for us it's a pleasure to support them. By saying this page is just open registration for a few days. The first startup registered here is from India, one of the software nations, Smita Rao, well known. So welcome Smita, and congrats for registering on our new webpage, and good luck with your new business. The board of directors has been extended and now also includes additionally AWS, Google Cloud and Huawei. And this is a historical momentum because it is the first time in the history of the OPC Foundation that we have a Chinese company on the board of directors. So it's a pleasure for me to very closely work with Dr. Hu from Huawei together here. He's the director of the digitalization strategy in his company. One also new information is that Claudius Link from SAP took the early retirement, and Matthias Hollandes is his follower. This is even so fresh information you can't find it in the web today, but it will be published tomorrow. As you see here, it's a super mix of IT and OT companies on the board of directors. This makes me really proud, and we really try to make the world a little bit better, at least in the industrial automation sector. Because we have been in China, I was traveling there earlier this year. I was super astonished. I was amazed that there was a competition on OPC-UA Open Web API technology. We have a later talk from Randy explaining this technology on Wednesday, I believe, yes. And we have also today later a more detailed explanation on this competition. It was organized by the Open Atom organization, and it was a pleasure for me to donate, to hand over the first prize. It was organized and co-sponsored here by Huawei. Amazing job. Over 40 teams have worked on this competition, and looking to all these results, I was really totally amazed. I always take a little bit perceptions to educate then the audience. I'm not stepping here into these details. This was part of my presentation last year in 2024. So if you like to have answers to this ones, please refer to my presentation from last year. This year I like to highlight a little bit here from Philip, what he was sending on LinkedIn. And again, Philip, please excuse, you are invited to come to the OPC Foundation booth. We will have a beer and cooperate in a really good way. It's just to take this information here, because you're comparing. So it started that a Siemens person was analyzing the bandwidth of OPC and MQTT, and Philip answered on, hey, there's a lot of more videos, look here, and then Philip is thinking on that OPC is just client-server technology and MQTT is pub/sub, and that he says, well, this comparison doesn't make any sense because MQTT is a report by exception and OPC is cyclic data exchange and polling and so on. And I just want to educate again here. That all doesn't make any sense to compare. The truth is, callbacks have been, the report by exception callbacks have been integrated since the first version of OPC in the year 1995. And with OPC starting being available as version 1.0 in the year 2006, it was designed as client-server only, including callbacks, obviously. But this technology has been extended 2018 after multiple years public availability and beta testing with pub/sub. And this pub/sub is able to be transferred over UDP, MQTT, Kafka. So it's a general purpose pub/sub. So we love MQTT. It is not, should I use this or that? MQTT is part of OPC deliverables. Remember, we are moving information and you need different transport layers for different layers, different interfaces like REST interface and so on to access this information. But, Philip, remember, we will have a beer. MQTT is not providing you interoperability because if you provide, the reality was a lot of PLC providers integrated MQTT into their controllers. But if they would send the same variable, the same value, you would receive different MQTT JSON encoding messages. So it's not plug and produce. And this is why we standardized the payload, OPC, put it into an MQTT transport frame and then send it. And we made it in JSON and in binary encoding. Also this makes sense. So the combination of this makes sense. And my message here is, don't trust this. Maybe if you find it entertainment sources of knowledge, we believe that it is not a good source of information because we want to provide really technical information, maybe less entertaining. Okay, let's stay in contact. Simplified view at a glance, OPC is a modeling language. This is what I try to explain here more and more. Very rich modeling language. This is why we can convert a lot of other models, simpler models, into our world to then address many more use cases. We have different transport mechanisms. I mentioned that already. Not only transport via TCP, UDP, MQTT, also having REST interfaces, file transfer, open web API. And this allows also to grow and extend via different underlying Ethernet infrastructure, Ethernet APL, 5G, using also TSN and so on. Security is baked in, not only for transport, also for access rights, who is allowed to see and access what kind of data. Deeply baked in for end-to-end security. I mentioned it's extendable, not only from information modeling, also for transport. It is scalable from smallest sensor, 36 kilobyte, up to IT cloud and between cloud applications. How do you do interoperability between two digital twins? OPC is a fantastic solution for this. It's international, as mentioned before. And last but not least, it's completely independent. It is not dominated by a specific vendor or by a vendor group. Everything is open. That's great. Talking about security, the last year and this year we provided a lot of security talks on the Cyber Resilience Act, which is really a hot topic here in Europe. But if you want to get in an OPC security talk in depth, please refer to Randy Armstrong's video from the year 2020. You'll find it in the OPC Foundation YouTube channel. At this OPC International Day, we have on Wednesday another talk from Matthew Rogers from CISR, North America, because CISR, together with, I believe, 10 or 11 other security agencies around the world, have published a paper, and Roger is referencing and explaining that paper, and we are glad to have him as a speaker here. Thank you, Rogers, up front here. Short update from the Field Level Communication Initiative, which has been established in 2018. The horizontal to controller communication has been released, the spec last year. We are expecting products. I can't wait to figure out who is offering the first product to be listed on the Wall of Fame, where we have the complete history of the OPC Foundation. That might be a really great honor to be listed there. The group is continuing now from controller down to device, and on Thursday we have a complete talk on different aspects of the Field Level Communication Initiative. At this Hannover Messe, it was a pleasure to see the seamless integration of 5G. So that was amazing to see that everything is smoothly integrated and works perfectly. So here you see all the presentations from Thursday, not only on factory automation, it is also addressing the process industry, including Ethernet APL. Later the week on day 5, we also have a presentation on PA-DIM, so stay online and have a look for that presentations. Let's address some updates from the field level, from the cloud. This cloud initiative has just started 2024. It is it's overviewing a lot of these working groups, OPCA over MQTT, REST, the cloud library, the repository with all the information models, OPCA for AI, Metaverse. We have the Web of Things, connectivity and binding, and then our joint activities with the IDTA with respect to the asset administration shell. So there's a lot that somebody has to oversee and make decisions and prioritize work, and this is exactly done by the cloud initiative. You find more information on opcfoundation.org/cloud, so just have a look there. One topic it's a pleasure for me to announce here is that this group provided a cloud brochure, so you find this online on this /cloud landing page. I'm not diving here into the details. This will be another talk on Wednesday, exactly about the Cloud Day. But for me, it was amazing to see that the first time we have an overview, a consolidated overview of commercial offerings from all of the cloud suppliers for this so-called cloud reference architecture. Isn't that amazing that the OPC Foundation is a neutral ground where everybody comes together and shares knowledge and brings in his thoughts? Fantastic. New is that we had an end user council. that the end users really could judge and give feedback on this makes sense, this is what we don't need, this is what we are asking for, this has higher priority. That was really helpful for us. I was also really wondering when I noticed the input from the OT companies, as you see here, and I'm just mentioning Siemens with the highest number of offerings here to this cloud reference architecture, and after that ABB and then Schneider. It's a huge delivering of commercial offerings of this cloud reference architecture. So it is not that you think about IT companies provide IT cloud offerings and OT companies are behind the firewall in the factory and deliver this one. No, it's a completely mix of everything. So I'm not diving into details. Join the cloud reference architecture talks on Wednesday. OPC is powering a lot of other technologies and use cases, like the digital twin, the metaverse, the digital product passport, and artificial intelligence. For example, a couple of years ago, we just started another instance of an OPC server in the cloud. And the communication then is obviously not via TCP and UDP. Instead, it's done by OPC over MQTT. And in cloud systems, you talk with, you access something with REST API, for sure, yes. But it's driven and powered by OPC modeling language. Everything is, by the way, obviously available as open source. We did this together with the Digital Twins Consortia from North America. Same with the metaverse. It's open, it's available as an open source project. We provided a complete 3D model of here a wind turbine field, and then this is communicating to real wind turbines with OPC. The digital product passport is modeled on base of OPC. It just took us 4 hours. We took this semantic, how to describe a battery, the battery passport and what parameters are required from a different group. I think it's 107 parameters. It took us just 4 hours to integrate that into our modeling tools, initiate that, instantiate that in a cloud environment. And so we could communicate directly to a Huawei battery. And we had the perfect digital product passport for this battery. Open source available. If you're interested, contact us. And not to forget AI. We will later have a presentation from Dr. Holger Ken on the results and activities of the OPC for AI working group. Also here, please join this group. Amazing to see what is happening in the future. And obviously OPC is delivering structured information which help much the AI people to be much quicker and more efficient, to have the knowledge about the meaning of data and metadata. One more slide here on the AAS and our cooperation with the IDTA. I can't agree more here to Matthias Bölke. He's a chairperson of the IDTA. And we will have deep dive sessions also on Wednesday, where they explain exactly what they did. As I understood, they are using OPC as a modeling language and putting the semantic of the IDTA, of the asset shell inside. And then they have 2 different REST interfaces, one which is built in OPC anyway, and the other one, the other REST interface comes from the IDTA. At least this is my presidential understanding, but please join the session on Wednesday. Data spaces. This is how to exchange data via with other companies. And now you might think, hey, but that's what OPC can do. That's true, but OPC is delivering interoperability, which is based on 3 pillars: the modeling language, the transport, and security. But for data spaces, you need one topic more. You need data sovereignty. So you need to keep control on the data. Even you have shared the data, there is a contract upfront on how long are you allowed to work with the data and what are you allowed to do with the data. And if we share data for a week, for a month, for a year, after that, even you have the data, you are no longer allowed to do something with the data. And this part, the sovereignty part, is not covered by the OPC Foundation. This is what the International Space Association, Data Space Association, the International Data Space Association is handling on, and this together brings the connection. I just asked ChatGPT, what is the relevance of OPCUA for data spaces? And the perfect answer was, OPCUA provides a technical backbone that helps industrial data flow into and across data spaces safely and meaningful. I have nothing to add. So don't forget to switch on and reconnect here on Wednesday for the Cloud Initiative for all these presentations. Certification, a few news. First of all, we are accepting Ethernet APL devices to be certified in our lab. And this is independent if the devices can also are supporting OPCUA or not. So if you just have a switch and the switch is providing Ethernet APL, we are able to also test the physical Ethernet APL figures. We have all these oscilloscopes and so on in our lab. And again, I'm looking forward who is certifying the world first Ethernet APL device in the OPC Foundation lab. I think this should be mentioned on the Wall of Fame. We are providing new OPCUA certificate logos here. If your OPCUA product is certified, you are able to get these two logos, which is a little bit more precisely. The other logo till now was OPC certified, which is also fine, and you can continue using that. But if you want to have it more advertisement for OPCUA certified, then go with this logo here. Last message here on certification, we noticed that the CDT tool, the compliance test tool, is heavily requested right now. It is a tool where you can run against your client and your server with a lot of test cases, not only on OPCUA technology, also on information models. And we noticed a huge demand from automotive suppliers because they have to deliver OPCUA-enabled products to the automotive industry. So this is a good early indicator on increasing adoption. Collaborations and activities. OPCUA is, again, with over 170 groups, we are creating over 240 information models. It is not only in discrete manufacturing and process, also a lot in energy. We will have a talk on the energy initiative on Friday by Chris Münch. So OPCUA is very, very strong in the industrial automation market, but it's also growing out into other areas like in vending and coffee and snack machines or in industrial kitchen equipment. So it's because of the power of OPCUA having access to, having transport and exchange of secured standardized information, it is growing in a lot of other areas. One of these areas we reported last year about this was the laboratory and analytical device standard. They are very successful. They are creating, organizing about 3 or 4 hackathons per year. And they have Dr. Matthias Arnold and Matthias Schuh organizing this perfectly. And with this help, even completely developers who have never heard about OPCUA, they are able to have a first up and running version after 2-3 days. On the first day, they load the information model into their server. On the second day, they connect their own server to their own physical assets, and that's it. Please follow the link here and the video to get really an insight of that. But this year, I'm proud to announce that here the 2 gentlemen have again, I believe, changed the world again a little bit, make the world better. That the world is from their silos working with each other and harmonizing the world. So Dr. Matthias Arnold and also Heiko Fessenmeier, both of them are working very close together and have been able to combine the allotrope foundation together with Spectaris and the LAT standard together. And OPCUA is a vehicle in the middle a little bit. We are proud of this. We are supporting this, obviously. And there's a deep dive talk about this also later this week. Electrolyzer is from the Energy Working Group. As mentioned, Chris Münch is here very deeply involved. Please follow his presentation. I'm proud that OPCUA is in renewable energy that much deeply involved, because if we want to save the world, we need to scale quickly all these adoption, and then a powerful standard is obviously helping. As you see here, this is on day 5. There are a lot of these presentations. Not only factory automation, also PADIM, another presentation from the process industry. And UA4 machinery is with the building blocks of what the VDMA is doing. They have so many companion specifications, but whenever they find something which is more generic, which should be available for everybody, then they put it into the underlying horizontally UA4 machinery. We have a second presentation which is about how to implement OPCUA for machinery within 1 day by Dr. Wolfgang Mahnke. So don't miss these 2 presentations. Offerings and information. We are proud that we continuously increase here the number of success stories. The latest, greatest one is here with Procter & Gamble. But you know, at the end of the day, what I noticed, and hopefully we will notice this later today with a presentation from the railway company here from the German Bahn and the European railway companies. At the end, it's also about trust. Do you trust the technology for the integrated security, but also that this solution is stable, available on the market for the next decades? And OPCUA is already available for decades, for 19 years, without losing backward compatibility. And that's why people trust on this. And honestly, trust is the base of everything. In a partnership, you trust on persons. In a business, you trust also on other persons, but also on companies. And this is here where you trust on technology. This is why we are proud that OPCUA is also integrated into the civil rocket from Airbus. When it gets into the space, they are reporting back down to Earth, we are OPCUA PubSub. And this is where you can't send up a maintenance person and say, oh yeah, there is an issue and I fix it. No, it is cost millions of investment of euros and dollars to make this happen, and you just have that one try and it must run, and there is no excuse, and so we are proud to be integrated. The OPCUA starter kit is available. There's another starter kit available also for the Open Web API. Please have a look to this and play around. Within less 1 hour. You have everything to understand OPCUA over MQTT and how standardized messages over MQTT are handled. So just download and play around. The academic program, also I like to mention this, we all need more talents in the world who are educated with OPCUA, because the industry is sending out clearly demands that they need people with OPCUA knowledge. So the academic world should make use of these offerings. It's a big set of slides, even introduced and commented, described by a professor in English language, but the slides themselves are available in 6 languages. So please download this free of charge and register in case you are involved in the academic world. There's a marketplace where you can set filters. You can set filter for where do I find GDS servers, or where do I find MQTT offerings. This was just a summary. Download the latest, greatest brochure to have everything on your table. With this, I hopefully gave you a very short, comprehensive overview. I tried to navigate you a little bit through what is news, but also make a small teaser on what you can expect the rest of this week. I believe it will be a fantastic week again. I'm looking forward for all these presentations from all these volunteers and listen what they can deliver. I believe here, and this on my slide, interoperability is exactly not only to connect machines or maybe with IT and between IT, it's also really connecting industries. Remember, we are now closer with the Allotrof Foundation and their community, but it's also connecting people and at the end, connecting ideas. This is what I love. So let's continue working together. Let's shape the future together. With this, have a good day and enjoy the rest of the OPC Day 2025. Bye-bye.